Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we have another amazing facsimile edition of Superman number 233, also known as The Amazing New Adventures of Superman number 1 by comic legends Denny O'Neil, Curt Swan, and Murphy Anderson. This is so good, you guys. And of course, that a legendary cover by the great Neal Adams. Cannot wait to share this one with you. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button. And let's get right into it. Okay, this cover is the stuff of legend. This is Neal Adams. This is a facsimile reprint or artifact edition, as DC calls them, which is an exact replica of the issue as it appeared when it was originally published, except for, of course, the paper stock, the cover price, and the addition of this blank cover. I had to get the blank cover. If you know, you know. Keep threatening to do these blank cover sketches, and I promise you. I have to finish my Elementals book first, and then I think that'll be like a good come down after that. Anyway, so this cover is freaking legend. It's been homaged a million times. It is so great. Like, this marks like a renaissance for Superman. 1971, y'all. This came out before I was even born. So this would be like the era right before I got into comic books, and the era I was never really into. I feel like, especially when you're young, you're just concerned about what you're reading at the time and looking forward. And only until recently, and especially thanks to these facsimiles, have I had the desire and sort of access to look back. And that is why I love these facsimile editions. They're amazing. Snoopy strikes again. I love when like genres or pop culture clashes like that. Snoopy in a Superman book, normally wouldn't happen unless it was part of an ad, for something like this. So that is so cool. So Neal Adams, oh my gosh. So this is like a renaissance, it's Superman 233. But so interesting, and this actually is a good history lesson here, you all, because, they definitely are, new creative team, bold new direction, back to the basics. We're doing something major changes to sort of put him in a new direction. Now, if this were present day, this would 100% be a real number one rather than just sort of like considered number one, but we're still doing the traditional numbering, which I love the traditional numbering. It kind of breaks my heart to see it all broken up, but hey, it is what it is. Unfortunately, just the way life is now, you Google, because, whatever, Superman number one and, 20 different covers are going to come up when I feel it should be one. But hey, that's what it is. So I love this opening page. Denny O'Neil story, art by Curt Swan and Murphy Anderson. You can see the title and the cover is Kryptonite No More. So they're basically, in a way, it's kind of interesting because they kind of absoluted for a bold new direction. The absolute universe is like Superman minus this. And so this is actually that. I feel like the absolute line is doing it to make it a weakness. And this is like sort of, I don't know why, like maybe Superman was looked down upon as like the big blue Boy Scout and maybe they wanted to up his game or something. I'm not sure. But they decided to have, I love the silhouette, by the way. This is such a great effect. And I really hate that the letterer and the colorist are not credited because they're so good here. This is amazing. I would love to see this like homaged. Maybe I'll do it myself as like a full page splash, like just the silhouette of Superman with the text, and it is so cool. I absolutely love that. I've always had such a respect and reverence for Curt Swan. I feel like I wasn't quite aware of the magnitude of how many issues of Superman he did. And it's crazy, especially with Murphy Anderson, and what a beautiful creative team they are. They really do. I mean, you could look at this art and you're like, okay, I know that Superman. I know that era. Superman is being put, like, okay, so this guy buys the Daily Planet, this weirdo with the cigarette holder that I love. very interesting to note, like, this era is, like I said, like, I'm not reading Superman. This is before my time. And this would have been so boring to me. Like, that's how I always looked at DC, as sort of like old men with dad bodies and just middle-aged men hanging out and, fighting crime. And now it just looks amazing to me. And also I have to point out this, okay, so there's a silhouette in the sand here, and this will come back and illustrate a point I have to make. I know this is all over the place, but there's a lot to say here. This is so good. I love it. So this guy with the cigarette holder is like, here's a camera, Clark Kent. You're going to go cover this rocket launch, and you're going to do it on camera because you're not just Clark Kent reporter now. You are basically a news anchor, and you have to deal with it. And I love that he has to film it himself too. That kind of reads like correct. Like, I feel like if anything at all, you had like one cameraman, but sometimes you had to do it yourself. And I mean, who's more capable? I mean, of course, he's worried about his Superman identity here, and that's why he's resisting. And he's like, no, this is before HR, bitch, and you're my bitch, and you're gonna do it. It's like, okay, I have no choice. So immediately he's reporting on this rocket launch, and with this X-ray vision, which I love. I just love all the great tropes of Superman. And I don't know, retroactively, it is a little corny, you could argue, but I love it so much. I mean, it just goes to show, like, I feel like the corniness is almost part of the appeal. You know what I mean? And just this, like, classic comic book art and things like the X-ray vision through the wall. This feels so legendary. You know what I mean? It's just like, I feel like artists like Curt Swan and Murphy Anderson are laying the bricks for, comic book artists to come. And it's just so fun to see. I love, like, the multiple images of him swiftly changing into his costume. It's so fun. He looks great there. Kryptonite there was this freak explosion, and Kryptonite has been made null and void, and Clark, Kal-El, Superman, et al. And this is what I love when Superman, I feel like Superman kind of started out a little bit of a dick and then just became like way too nice. So I kind of like when he's a dick sometime, and he's like, oh, hey, give me that kryptonite. I'll frickin' eat it. Nice little snack. Ain't gonna do nothing to me, because it's been, whatever, negated because of some freak explosion. Monster-sized monsters for $1. Could you imagine how many pissed off moms? Oh my gosh, get that 7-foot tall frickin' Frankenstein off your door, Sonny. Anyway, my mom would have let me have it, especially for $1. Jeez, I was born like a little too late for that, and I regret it. No, I'm sure they had them, but I never sent away for this stuff. Oh, interesting again. This is so bizarre, you all. So, when I was doing the Fantastic Four review, the character was like mind control, and there's a book about hypnotism in the ad, and Clark is using like a projector or a camcorder, or like something to transmit his thing, and there's an ad for like, I don't know, coincidence, Mandela effect, what's happening, glitch in the Matrix. Maybe my channel is a portal to a different plane. I don't know. Speaking of planes, look how beautifully drawn this is. And I just have such an appreciation for this. I love the art. Like, just like the little detail and the flourishes, There are no effects here. This is paper, pencil, and ink. And it's Curt Swan and Murphy Anderson. And, he's drawing the like little details on the console in the cockpit of the airplane, and I just love it. Superman, this was so good too. When I say, like, talk about laying the bricks, like, this is the first time he's doing stuff like this, perhaps on the back of a plane, ripping the top open, which I loved. And this was like, I thought, like, wasn't Brightburn supposed to be like a Superman horror movie? Like, he's kind of horrific in a lot of ways. Like, he's like, I'm climbing on the top of the plane, and then he uses his X-ray vision to see where the guys are, and then just like punches his fist through to knock them out. Like, it's just kind of brutal, and I love it. Like, it's kind of like I was wrong in thinking that these old DC comics would be boring. And I don't care though, because I'm having such a great thrill, like, discovering them now. Okay, so this is what I also love, and this is long way to a punchline. What I was getting at is that what I realized, it's almost like being an archaeologist or a detective or something, reading these old books with the knowledge of what I have read now or has come after it. This looks like this 100% had to be John Byrne's inspiration for Alpha Flight #1. This like outline of a body and then like a creature rising from it was giving me Tundra vibes so much. But perhaps I'm reading too much into it. But you know, these would be the comics that would inspire the other future generations of artists and stuff. So I just think, I don't know, that's what I got from it. But if it's wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. But I just love the sort of reference and tropey comicness of it. What are the losers? What was that comic book? There's so much more to discover in comics that I haven't. I love like the fun, like cartoony backups here. I love the direct currents that was so familiar, sort of like Stan Soapbox or whatever. Metropolis mailbag. Superman carrying this huge bag of fan mail is so fun. Oh my gosh, and an ad for diamond rings, for the love of Pete. And then you get this fabulous World of Krypton backup feature, beautifully illustrated by Murphy Anderson. I think he's doing the inking here as well. And my God, it is gorgeous. Like, when did Krypto come on the scene? I don't know. Does this predate Krypto? Because that's definitely Krypto vibes, obviously. And so much fun. I love it. I love the kind of like, I didn't realize that they were into telling kind of the history and whatnot of Krypton this much. So I kind of love the glimpse. Although like I've often said, Krypton is kind of like rotted. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like everyone's kind of an asshole. I love this so much. And I wondered if this was an error, because it says the remote control takeoff was perfect. The ship streaked into the carmine colored evening sky. And I wonder if that's supposed to be crimson, because I don't know. This side of Carmine Ragusa, I don't know what color that is. And maybe someone tell me. I don't know. Colorist. Top of the comment boxes. This is fun too. I love the sexism, even though it's like Metropolis, or not Metropolis, Krypton. They're supposed to be so advanced and whatever. And she wants to test the rocket, and he's like, no. And she's like, yeah, I was looking around the ship and forgot the time, so I guess I have to try the controls now. And he's like, that minx, she did this on purpose to fly the ship. I love that he calls her a minx. I don't know, that just was cracking me up. Bah, I told you it would never work. Is this like Lex Luthor? No. I mean, it can't be, is it? How did he get back there? Anyway, this art is so good. I love it so much. This facsimile is amazing. What a great new era for Superman in 1971. So cool. Love all the art. Love just like the whole vibe of it. Love the Lois and Jimmy need to have a little more appearance, and I hope they do. But I know that they crammed so much into this issue, and it was so cool. And I'm so glad to like finally know like the issue behind this legendary Neal Adams cover. Kryptonite Nevermore, and one like that can't have lasted forever. Like, when did Kryptonite come back into effect, and how? Because I mean, Superman's got to have a weakness, right? Anyway, you guys, another amazing facsimile issue. Superman 233, the stuff of legend from Denny O'Neil, and the Curt Swan and Murphy Anderson art is beautiful. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I'll bring you more soon.